What's up, everybody? Well, what do you do when you want to plant fall food plots and you have a full-blown drought? I don't know if you can tell behind me here, but this stuff is so powdery and dusty. We literally have not had a rain here of any kind of measurable rain for almost 2 months. And in that 2 months time, temperatures stayed in the low to middle 90s and sometimes got to 100. So everything we planted in the spring is pretty much burnt up. I do not have a clover plot left. It was completely gone. Switchgrass is really hurting. It's not standing. A lot of it has actually leaned over. It may be dying. The plot screen that I've planted that was doing so well up until month of August, where we got no rain, month of September. Today's the 27th of September. It is really struggling. It's super thin. It's already browned. I'm afraid it's dead. And then the miscanthus planting we also planted back in the spring. I don't see any miscanthus that has survived. Now, will it come back next year? I don't know. We'll just have to play that by ear. But very seldom have we had to put up with this kind of drought. However, the question was, what do you do in a drought? You watch the forecast. And the forecast is giving us 3 or 4 days of chances of rain. Not great chances of rain, 30, 40, 50% on each of those days. But at this point, it's the chance we got to take. I feel like if I don't get that seed in the ground and it be there when the rain finally does come, that the growing season is going to be so short, you know, for this stuff to sprout and do pretty good. It doesn't bother me that it's late. It just bothers me that we're so burnt up, and you know, you don't know if you're going to get enough rain to even set the seed. But at this point, like I said, it's the 27th of September. You know, our bow season's already opened here. So I'm really wanting to get this seed in the ground. And with this 3 or 4 days chances of rain, I'm just going to take a chance and plant it like I normally would. I do have to make a few changes as far as how I plant it with the ground being so powder. I'm actually going to use a lot lighter drag than what I'd normally use, and I'm also going to cold pack it so that we get that good seed to soil contact. So it's hot. It's 90 degrees today, but today is Monday afternoon. We've got chances of rain starting on Wednesday all the way until Saturday. So fingers are crossed. I'm going to put in the time. The seed's already been bought. So I'll just kind of run you guys through what I'm going to plant where. If you've seen my video last year, this is the same location. Had a lot of success last year with the plantings. Had a bunch of really good luck with the winter wheat, which is obviously my favorite every year. I have not had a soil test done in a couple years. So I'm going to go in with some pelletized lime to start, just to kind of make sure that my pH is pretty close to where it needs to be. Then I'm going to come in with some triple 13, get that down, and then we're going to come in with the seeds. And this year I'm planting oats with in conjunction with peas, winter peas. So that's going to be in this same strip that you see behind me here. And then where the clover field was, we're going to go complete winter wheat. And then we're actually going to go over the top of that lightly with some clover seed for next spring. The winter wheat will act as a kind of a nurse crop to the clover. So next spring, all we should have to do is mow out the winter wheat, and we should have a good stand of clover if all goes well and it ever rains again. So, and then I've got my little patch in the middle that I'm going to actually try some radish this year. Something I've never tried. I like trying stuff new just to see what works. So I'm going to put the radish down in the middle, and then some of my perimeter spot over here, we're going to actually put a little more radish down. So stick with me. It's going to be hot. It is mega dusty. But we're going to do the best we can, get it all in. All right, guys, I'm going to put out the triple 13. I'm going to put out the pelletized lime. I did get me a new spreader. This Earthway is really good, dude. I like it a lot. I had an old kind of wore out one before. It cost me about 50 bucks, but I've used it once already and I'm impressed with it. You can put a nearly full bag. You can put a 40-pound bag of lime in there in one trip. So that makes it kind of good. And you can get, you know, probably two hauls with the fertilizer. So I recommend it if you guys are putting out anything. Use this right here. You can do pretty good. It holds quite a bit. So I'm going to get that put out and we'll see how it looks. Alright guys, so here's what I'm going to plant. Buck forage oats. I got a 50-pound bag. This actually kind of wraps around, so I figure it's between 1/4 and 1/2 acre is what this is. So I'm actually going to put 50 pounds of oats on there, and then I've also got 25 pounds of peas. So I hit this with triple 13 at 100 pounds, and I put 80 pounds of pelletized lime on this little section here. Tractor is going to just kind of lightly till that in, trying to get it into the ground pretty good. And then I'm going to put this on here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this step, and then we'll add the peas, and then I'm going to lightly drag it and then cold pack it. All right guys, here's the oats. We're going to want to seed these really heavy. Like I said, I'm going to put this whole 50-pound bag on here, but on the hand seeder itself, I'm going to open it all the way up and just really put this out and just keep it controlled. Try to keep it in the area, but heavy seed on this. All right guys, so got this one in. As you can see, I'm a big fan of a cold packer, and it really fattens it out nice. Most of the seed is covered. Obviously we won't get it all covered. It's just part of it, but we put a lot of seed down. And what I like about a cold packer is that seed to soil contact is just upped by a large amount. I don't know if you've ever planted in the past, but you can plant a food plot and drive over it with a tractor, and the tires, wherever the tires touched, is usually what comes up the best. So that's the idea behind the packer. You just get that really good seed to soil contact, and if by some strange reason we got a monsoonal rain, this is actually packed down a little bit better, maybe to keep it from washing. So I am running out of light, so I'm gonna have to hurry up. We're gonna move now to the radish patch. I'm gonna get that done real quick. That's the next step, and before we move to the wheat field. So I gotta hurry up. Oh, thank goodness. This camera right here just took a nasty fall. I was lifting up the tripod and the camera slipped off, and bam. And it's my wife's camera, so that'd been bad. That would have been bad. All right, so right behind me right here is what we're gonna call the radish patch. And it's not very big, but we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna hit it with some pelletized lime, triple 13, and then the radishes. So pelletized lime, triple 13. I'm gonna till it all in. I will put out the radishes, drag over it lightly, and then cold pack. That's the plan. Radish. Well, good morning, everybody. So, yep, next morning, it's the 28th today of September. So, got the big food plot behind me here to finish. Heat's approximately 3/4 of an acre, probably, maybe a little over that. So, gonna go in and put down the pelletized lime, put down the fertilizer. Pelletized lime, I'm doing about 300 pounds. Fertilizer ended up with about 250. So problem is when it's as dry as it is, the tiller doesn't cut the ground up well because the ground's so hard. So I'm actually going to go over this once I put out the pelletized lime and the fertilizer. I'm going to go over it again with a pretty solid till, knowing that I'm only going to get a few inches of penetration. So that's the plan. That's the next step. Hopefully we can get this thing done this morning. It's really nice out here right now, so the only problem is I have no wind, so I'm probably going to choke out with dust. But again, handy dandy COVID mask here should cure all. We're going to hit it. All right, guys, so I got it all limed, fertilized, and tilled in. So fixing to spread the winter wheat. We had quite a bit of residual grass because it got so dry, and then what was in there died, and the clover was gone. The clover dries up and goes away, but the residual grass kind of hangs around. So it's a little clumpier than I want it to be in spots, but it's the best we can do. So I'm gonna go ahead and put out the winter wheat, and then I'm gonna drag over it. I've got a little heavier drag for this since we do have some grass involved. And then I'm gonna cull pack, and then I'm gonna come back with the clover seed, go over the flat cull packed area, and then cull pack again. So all right, guys, last step. We're going to add in some clover. This is just some clover from the co-op, some cheap stuff. So I think it was like 11 bucks. This plant's half an acre. We're going to make it plant 3/4 of an acre. So I'm not going to put this out heavy. I'm going to use my old seeder here, set it all the way to 1 on the 1 setting, and put it out sparingly so that I cover the whole plot. And if there's some left, I'll go back over. So and then after that, after we get the clover seed out, I am going to pack it again, just to make sure we get that good seed to soil contact. Keeping our fingers crossed. We got chances of rain starting tomorrow for the 4 or 5 days after that. None of the chances are high, but they are chances. So good Lord wants to send us some rain. This will all work out. If not, the seed will just lay here until we do get rain. So, and hopefully it's not too far into the cold season that it stunts it all. But thank you guys for watching as always. And, you know, I do this kind of stuff just to show you guys what I do. I'm no expert. None of this stuff's done perfectly, but I have done this for a lot of years, and this is what's worked for me. So if it helps somebody, that's my goal. But as always, thanks for watching, and God bless.